Hey guys, so this is the look I'm doing for you today. It's kind of like a nice black brown kind of classic smoky bedroom eye, kind of smoky eye kind of look. It's very simple sort of, and it's kind of like basically just like your classic dark brown or blackish smoky eye. I didn't go full on black because I think my eyes and just my whole face together, whenever I use like black eyeshadow, it makes my eyes look super heavy and I don't like the way it looks. So that's why I decided to go with a really dark brown instead. And this video was inspired by my friend Katie. She's gonna be kind of surprised by this. She put this she put this picture up on Instagram. She just made an Instagram. She needs to get with the times. And she put this picture up and I love her makeup so much in this picture. I'm gonna like put a little inlay or whatever of it right here so you can see. And I thought it was so pretty and I really wanted to, you know, recreate it for myself because me and her have like the same color hair, same really pale skin tone, same brown kind of colored eyes. We look different, but you know, most of our kind of our color sort of thing features are really similar, so I thought it would look nice on me because it looks really nice on her. So that's what I did today. And I also, I'm gonna put her Instagram name down below so you guys can go check her out. She literally just made an Instagram, so she only has one picture, and she doesn't make videos. She doesn't like post on Instagram daily like I do. You know how I do, like post my looks and stuff on Instagram all the time and different things. She doesn't do any of that. She just, you know, she just watches YouTube videos. She doesn't make any or anything. And this is like totally not a plug. She didn't even ask me to do this. She doesn't even know I'm doing this. But I kind of wanted to do it because I've been poking at her to tell her to really make videos because she's so good at makeup. She's worked for Lancome, Bare Minerals. She's a Clinique counter manager. She's done a lot in cosmetics. And I really want her to make videos because I want to watch her do things because I want to learn from her because I love the way she does makeup. But she still hasn't done it, and I keep poking her, telling her, you gotta do it, you gotta do it. And I really want her to do it. So I feel like if maybe you guys went and like followed her on Instagram and she just got like a bunch of followers all of a sudden on Instagram, she'd be like, whoa, what's happening? And I'd be like, oh my God, these people wanna watch you. You gotta make videos. And then maybe she'll make videos for me and I'll be happy. So yeah, you don't have to, you know, it's not like, you know, whatever, you do whatever you wanna do. I'm just saying she's really cool and I want her to eventually make videos, so check her out if you'd like to. So yeah, enough talking. This is what I'm doing. I hope you guys enjoy it. And if you want to see how I did it, then please keep on watching. For primer, I'm starting out with my NARS Primer. Also, if you're wondering, the nail polish I'm wearing is Viridian from Illamasqua. So I'm going to start out with a colored base because I want this dark brown color to really stand out. And I want to make sure that it comes off as dark as possible. So I'm going to start with a brown base, and this is Constructivist Paintpot from MAC. And I like to just use my finger with these, and I'm going to pat the color on my lid. I'm not going all the way to the inner corner. I'm going to wipe off my finger and then start pulling up. And what that does is when you kind of go like this, you'll slowly kind of blend that color upwards, and then you can kind of pull it into the inner corner a little bit because it's going to help you a lot with blending if you don't start out with like that harsh line right there. So to make blending easier down the road here when we get into the blending part, I'm going to start out by putting a really light brown shade in my crease, and this is Wild by Nature from MAC. It was limited edition, but you can find something really similar to this. It's just a super light warm brown, and I'm using that on my Lancome blending brush, and I'm going to start out with this across my entire crease from the inner part to the outer part. For this look today also, I'm not going to be using my tape method that I've been using a lot recently because I don't want it to end up being too like editorial or too harsh. I want it to be, it's going to be dark enough already. I want it to be more of that soft kind of classic kind of smoky eye. So for the lid color, I'm taking this color right here from this NARS palette, but you can buy this all the time. It's Coconut Grove. It's just a super dark kind of black brown, really, really matte color. And I'm going to take my fingers and just kind of hold them under my eye here, so to catch any of the fallout if there is any. And using this Lancome flat shader brush, I'm just going to press this onto my eyelid. and make sure you're pressing, and that will kind of minimize your fallout. And I'm basically just going to go up towards the crease, but keep it on the lid, and kind of pull it out to the side a little bit. Again, this is not going to be a harsh pulled out kind of look. It's going to be more rounded, blended look. And then with whatever extra is left on the brush, just start dabbing into the inner corner. You're not putting any extra on because you don't want the inner corner to be too dark. And then you can take your brush again with no extra product, and like I always like to do, I start to pull up into the crease like this with little motions like this, because that's going to help you with your blending, because it's going to start to fade the brown up. The next color I'm taking is Cork from MAC. This is a nice warm tone medium brown, and I'm using this brush from Crown Brush. It's C433 Pro Blending Fluff, just like the 217 brush from MAC, except it's only like $4 or $5, which is great. So I'm taking that on the brush, and I'm going to start blending this at that line where that dark brown sort of starts to go into the crease. And you're going to overlap the brown a little bit, the darker one. And I kind of start with the flats, more flat into the crease, and then I'll turn the brush so it's wider to start blending it up. And we're just blending. I always take really light strokes. I'm not pressing too firmly. You want to make sure you blend into the inner corner as well, so there's no lines in there either. And then periodically we're going to go back with our fluffier blending brush just to go over the whole thing to make sure it's staying nice and blended. I'm going to take some more of my dark brown and layer that on top again and pull it up into the crease some more. And then taking this brush, we're going to blend again. I have the tiniest bit of the darker brown on this brush, and what I'm going to do is kind of press this in the outer corner and gently blend this up, because I want the dark brown to go a little higher, but I don't want it to be too intense, so that's why I'm using the fluffier brush. And I'm just lightly taking that a little higher, and then going back with our blending brush again. I'm going to take my flat brush with the lightest brown color we used, and I'm going to press this on the inner corner of the eye. And once you start pressing it in, it's going to darken up and kind of start to blend into the darker color. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want a little lighter kind of brown on the inner corner, and it's going to help us blend in our inner highlight. So doing that light brown will make it kind of transition from the light to dark a lot easier. I'm making sure to wipe off this brush really well, and then I'm going to take Mylar, and this is going to go on the inner corner right here. And then, like I usually do, like little back and forth motions like this, I'm going to pull it up into the rest of the colors here, and that will kind of brighten up this area, as well as it'll blend all these inner edges right here so they kind of flow really nicely. And then I'm taking just a little more of that color as a brow highlight. I'm taking that darkest brown from NARS on a small little brush. This is from Michaels. It's one of those artist brushes. And I'm just going to smudge this on the lower lash line, keeping it really close to the lashes, and I'm only going in about halfway to start off with. Make sure it meets up with this in the outer corner here. And then I'm taking Cork, which is our mid-tone brown, on a pencil brush. This is a MAC 219, and I'm going to blend this on the rest of the lash line. And then I'm going to turn the brush on the side with some of that Cork color and blend it on the edge of that darker color. And this is really going to smoke out this darker color, because I want it to kind of blend down and smoke out on the bottom lash line. And again, make sure you're kind of getting right here in the outer corner, because then it's going to blend really nicely from this upper kind of stuff over here. It'll blend down it'll blend down really nicely with the colors on the lower lash line. And I'm not really bringing this darkness in too far here. I'm kind of just blending the extra like I usually do. Then I'm going back with the NARS color one more time, just to make sure It's nice and intense here on the outer part. Next, I'm going to do my eyeliner, and I'm using my usual eyeliner stuff. So next I'm using the best mascara ever created, and that is the Lancome Hypnose Mascara. Now you could leave the eyes like this and they look really pretty and really nice, but I'm going to do what she did in her picture. What it looks like she put on some black eyeliner in her waterline. So that's what I'm going to do. She didn't take it all the way into the inner corner, just on the outer corner, I'm pretty sure. So I'm going to take some Bobbi Brown black ink gel liner, and I just put it on this Urban Decay pencil so it's easier to apply. And I'm just going to bring it in about that far. I kind of like to dab it once you get it to the inner corner, because that'll kind of lighten it up so it kind of fades in. Alright, so that is it for the eyes, and now I'm going to show you what I'm going to do for the rest of my face. Alright, so in the picture she definitely has a really good amount of like a contour, bronzer kind of thing. I already put some bronzer on, but I'm going to intensify the more like a contoured shape. I'm using my Estee Lauder Soft Shimmer Bronzer, and this is a MAC 168 brush. So I'm going to use this to really get in that contour area. Now I really don't like harsh contours, and it's definitely not harsh. It's just more like dark, I guess, and it might be the picture. But I'm just going to add a little extra to that contour area. I'm still making sure I blend it up and down so it looks like, you know, not like I have a brown streak there. And I'm going to add some here, you know, like I told you before, like if you watched my contouring foundation routine video, I do the contour, but then I bring some down this way so that it doesn't look like I have just a brown line. It kind of looks like there's just a general shadow in this whole area. Alright, her cheeks look sufficiently warm. This is a perfect excuse to use Peaches blush from MAC because her face is very warm toned. So I'm going to use that on a 116 brush just to add some peachy. I haven't used this in like a week or two, and I think I've gone through withdrawals. For her lips, she seems to have like a pinky color on, but I think I'm going to go a little more brownie neutral, because that's what I like to do. So I'm going to use Cherish from MAC, because this is a nice medium tone brownie nude kind of color. And if you ever notice the way I put my lipstick on, I like to use the edges of the lipstick to create my line here, so that sometimes I don't need to use a lip liner. I'll do the same. That's why I kind of hold it to the side on the bottom, because then I can get this edge here. Rub that in real good like. And then I'm going to add a touch of Creme de Nude in the middle just to make it a little lighter in the middle. Alright, and I just blotted that a little bit so it wasn't so like creamy. There was a little too much lipstick on there. Alright guys, so that is your finished Katie Murphy look. Yeah, so if you guys want, like I said, go check her out. I'm not like doing a plug. She didn't ask me to do this. She doesn't make videos. She doesn't do anything, but she's my friend and I like want her to have followers because she does really good makeup, and I want, you know, I want her to eventually make videos, like I said. So maybe this will kind of be some fire under, but so yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't yet. As always, leave questions below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.